on West Coast Live. Tonight we have Joe Green from United Truck and Tractor Pullers Association out of Utah. Hello, Joe.
Hey guys, how are you doing?
Pretty good, man.
Doing great. How's it going, Joe? How's your ride running? Good? Ready for this year?
Yeah, no, it's under the knife, man.
That's good. That's good.
Completely rebuilt, basically from the ground up.
Oh,
nice.
Wow.
Ground up. Wow.
Are you going diesel or what are you doing?
No, we're gonna put a twin turbo big block Chevy in it.
Oh, nice.
Nice. See, I told you, Chris, there's still Chevy guys out there that want something that's going to last. It's not going to blow up on them.
Here we go. There he is.
Yeah, right on.
It's a good looking truck.
Hey, Joe, where did you get that truck? Did you build that?
Well, it was so the story goes, I actually bought the Revenuer out of Oregon. That was
truck?
First Pro Mod. And then we burned up about, I don't know, $40,000 in Ford engines and decided it was time to get a Chevrolet.
Oh, man. And, brutal tonight. It's brutal.
Father-in-law, give me that truck. And so we did all the paint and body, and then it had the original pictures and engine. It had a 8V92 Detroit in it. Kind of how the story goes is I bought it from Carl Heap, and RB Slagle and Carl Heap were good friends, as you guys know. But the third part to that story is Pete Schmidt down here, Utah Digital Center. His son runs it now, Cameron. He was on the research and development for Detroit with Slagle and Heap, and they actually ran the Phoenix together.
Oh, nice.
And so farming, and we had some diesel wells, and my boss called Utah Diesel Center, and Pete Schmidt showed up, and he said, I got talking about pulling a little bit, and he says, well, I know a guy who has a truck for sale, and it happened to be Carl Heap. So I bought the Revenuer. Well, my dad and I and my brother bought the Revenuer minus the engine, and we brought it down here, and we had a Ford engine built, but I didn't know what he was doing because it kicked a set of rods out of it in about, I don't know, 3.5 minutes.
Oh, no.
That's the original picture there.
Yeah.
That's when it did have the Detroit. That truck was brand new, just been painted. So.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
Yeah, I found a couple pictures of that.
Yeah.
Yep. That's so we're going to go back to how it looks generally there. I got a fiberglass front clip for it. And so we're going to enclose the hood. The hood doesn't have a hole on it at this time. And so we're going to try and get it back to that original look there. So
that's cool, man.
Very clean.
Cool. Yeah. And 2 hair dryers on it, huh?
Yeah, we got a guy in Rexburg, Idaho, building the engine. He builds Mark Connors engines, and I've come to develop a pretty good relationship with him. And so he runs a 481X in a limited drag radial car, and twin turboed, and so we're having him build us a 540 with a couple hair dryers on it, as you guys call them.
Super modified, oh man, I miss the super modified class. I wish there was more, for sure, man.
Mark Connors motors always ran very well, so yeah, that guy knows.
Well, he and
you have to go start going to meetings, Joe. See.
So the goal is we get her on the track hopefully this year. I still got a lot of work to do, you guys. I got body work. It's a full tube chassis now, airbag suspension. So I got a lot of work. The hood's still got to be, painted, and the body's got to be repainted. The chassis got to be repainted.
Yeah.
So the goal is hopefully get it on the track by the end of the year, get some passes on it, go through the engine through the winter, and then get it tuned up to where I feel comfortable. We can go to California and go to Oregon and
There you go.
go out where you guys are a little bit.
Sure. Do some traveling. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hi, Courtney.
Hi.
So that's kind of the goal with my truck right now. And then, of course, keeping United, grounded and going through that schedule here in the beginning of June. So,
Right on, man.
Yep. Yeah, we got it on our list to try to make Elko. So
yeah, I love to have you guys come, man. It's a good. I don't like the city of Elko much, but the pool there is generally a really good turnout for us. People like it, and Ness Diesel jumps on board and helps us out with some of the expense to get it there.
right.
And they do a little bit of promotions and stuff through the radio and the local shows and things there, and so it seems to help out. So it's just kind of one that we like to go back to. So we have to schedule it basically the day we leave. We tell JT, hey buddy, we want the date next year. So
Yeah. Nice.
Here's the full United schedule.
yep, we got one more to add.
There you go. Say hi, bye.
Tentatively, we're going to do Morgan, Utah on the 21st of September.
No.
Again, Morgan is kind of a unique deal that Skylar and a couple of those guys set up. What we do is we do it with the Morgan Lions Club, and we split the gate 80-20.
That's cool.
So the Lions Club does all the food, and there's now a car show involved.
Ow.
It's an all-day event. Starting at like 9 a.m. in the morning, they put on a car show, and then it just kind of transitions into our poll. And so the last couple of years, it's been one of our shows. And so this year, we're kind of looking for a season-ending show, and we decided we're gonna try and go back to Morgan. So
Nice. Yeah, that's the way Al Thomas used to do it back in the day with the Cascade Pullers. Is he would have the Lions Club or some organization like that would take the food and the beer sales, and then he would just take the gate and they just split it.
yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Yeah,
So,
that's a good way to get shows.
yeah.
Well,
So
yeah, and Al took care of a lot of people too, like these promoters do. He helped out a lot with that. And it was a good split with everybody, so that's why those shows were always good, big. Always had a lot of
It helps the community.
Yeah, helps everybody out.
Definitely.
we're actually gonna do three, actually 4 shows that year. So we're gonna go our Afton, Wyoming show. We're gonna do kind of the same thing with the fair board up there. We're gonna do an 80-20 gate split with them. Then the Duchesne, Utah show as well. Kind of one that Skylar Live a Little, he says, hey man, you guys, we got good luck with the monster trucks. Why don't you guys go out there and see if you guys can put on a truck pull? So we've worked it in with those guys out there.
Nice.
To do an 80-20 split. Helps with the advertising, get the local people involved, kind of for direct involvement. And so we're going to try it at a couple of more of our shows this year and see how it goes. So
Awesome.
Cool. I don't think there's a road that gets here from here to Wyoming, so I don't think.
Covered in snow for a couple of days anyway.
Right.
Remember they filmed Close Encounters in Wyoming. Remember Devil's Tower? That's how I know Wyoming from that movie.
Yeah.
From the 80s.
Well, we do got 4 videos that we did get downloaded in for tonight for Elko. We'll go over them. We'll play them real quick. Which ones did you send, Chris?
I think it was me, you, and
Danny?
Flash and Denny. Yeah.
Okay.
That year we went there.
And then we'll tell a little story on how Progressive Air works.
Yeah.
Yeah, abracadabra.
He thought he won it.
So before we play the other two videos, is I don't know if you knew about this, Joe, but when we scaled in that, and this was 2019, we scaled in that day. Chris blew a tube.
I popped a tube in the left front tire going over the scales.
Oh, wow.
And so we were trying to, we jacked it up. We tried to silicone it around the, the stem and keep the air in that thing. And so John ended up pulling his air compressor off his trailer. And basically I pumped it up to like 30 pounds before I pulled out on the track. Got back to my trailer. It was flat. So that's why we call it the progressive air setup.
It worked.
We won, we won.
No, I had no idea that happened, but sometimes we just do what we got to do to make the show go. So
Yeah. So needless to say, I got rid of the tubes.
yeah.
But
he was not a happy camper.
No.
oh no, I was nervous as hell. One had fuel leaks, and it was horrible. Just horrible.
Well,
But
Sounds like pulling, man.
yeah, heavy
Yeah.
pulling. Yep.
Sounds like motorsports.
Yeah.
yeah, there's always a reason that we keep doing it, but we didn't figure out the reason.
Yeah, I haven't found that. Yeah, I haven't found that yet. Yeah, exactly.
Heck yeah, three-wheeling win.
Freeland. And she stayed married to me after that too. It's crazy.
That's good, man.
That's before the wedding.
Yeah, it was. That's right. No,
Well,
good.
Joe, you want to introduce Courtney, Joe?
So this is Courtney House. So she's our new promoter, and she'll be helping me get things. I guess I delegate to her what needs to be done.
Yeah.
Here's the issue with Joe. So Joe is not a computer guy and he's not a technology guy. So he has to have somebody that he can relate to and relay to help get the behind the scenes stuff with the contracts, with the insurance, with the vendors, things like that. So that's Caleb Hell's his wife. You guys all know Caleb, but
Yeah.
so Courtney's she was kind enough to get on board this year and decide that she's going to take a crack at helping me out. So
Cool.
We all need that. My wife takes care of all my stuff too. I can't.
yeah. Yep.
Yep. That's your husband.
It is. He's
Yep.
actually sitting right here playing with the phone, but
Oh,
We were very disappointed the other night whenever they were reading it off, and we're sitting there going, "Man, come on, Caleb's going to be in there. Caleb's going to be in there.
Oh, I wish-
oh, I
We're going
know.
to meet him on the media. We're going to roll in."
yeah, we were
My-
voting hard.
Yeah, we kept voting. Everybody did. I know a bunch of people did.
We wanted the West Coast truck, all of them out there, that were on the list. So
My
But-
dad lives in Wisconsin and he messaged me every day. "Kay, I voted with all 5 of my emails today. Did you vote today?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did." So he was pretty bummed. He texted me, when are they announcing it? Did they announce it yet? And I'm like, "No, not yet." And then Caleb gets home and he's like, "I'm not on there."
aw.
Oh, damn it.
There's always next year,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think next year.
Yeah.
But be fun no
Well,
matter.
Talk a little bit, Joe, how you got involved. Or actually, let's talk about United.
Okay.
And how United came about and how long it's been going and everything else.
So United has been around. I can't tell you exactly how many years, but I believe close to 16 years. So United was a couple of groups that Utah Truck and Tractor Pullers, and then Rocky Mountain, which is an Idaho-based group, and
No, hold it.
basically there was I guess we'll call it a scuffle between a few of the members, and I imagine in business it goes that way once in a while. So shortly after I joined United, they had a vote of members to collab the group or bring the two clubs together, and then we all had a vote at our annual meeting, and then we all did a name poll. We put a name on a piece of paper, voted type of thing, and so United. That's how United come around. United is a nonprofit organization. So what we do is after expenses, we pay everything back to our pullers. Kind of something that keeps us grounded and keeps keeps it going around here. We don't have a huge amount of support in Utah. We do like a couple shows a year. Motorsports in general is dying in Utah. So that sucks because, we lost our racetrack. We lost the drag strip with the racetrack. And there's a lot of horse people out here. Don't get me wrong, but sometimes they're hard to contend with, and they might not always see it the same way as we do. A lot of times when we approach a new facility, the first thing that we hear is, well, are you going to hurt the dirt? Because they've just spent millions of dollars in these arenas for horse dirt, right?
Right.
And we tell them, no, we're not a demolition derby. And when somebody breaks a truck, we're just as mad as they are. We try not to leave any garbage in the track or hurt a horse or anything. That's never our intention. So anyway, so on and so forth. I've been involved in United for before it was United, shortly before. I bought the Bronco from Carl and met Skylar, and Skylar and I become really good friends. But for the last 22 years, I believe, me or my family have been directly or indirectly involved. So I've been the president, the lead tech. My dad has been vice president. My mom was a treasurer for a while. So through those years, I've kind of gained the knowledge and learned and been able to, take this and keep it going for a little while. So
right on.
Yeah, and doing good.
Awesome, man.
Doing good, keeping it going.
Well, we're trying. It's a struggle sometimes. The economy help.
Yeah, the economy sucks.
COVID year, we put on 4 tractor pulls. That's all we could do. And the biggest one was Burley. I think all you guys was there because you guys didn't have a place to go, and we were able to make some stuff happen. But that being said, the economy right now is killing all of us, right? So
everything. Yep. All the motorsports.
Yep.
To keep things structured to where make it viable to keep going, ordering parts for trucks, getting the time to do those things, the people involved, the new people, the new generation. In the time that I've been with United, we watched the diesel scene come through. Everybody had a 12-valve Cummins or a 24-valve Cummins. We pulled 121 hooks in Tremont in one night. I don't remember exactly one year. I never seen so many diesel pickups in my life.
I think I remember that year.
We had the old sled. It was before we even had put the cab and redid this sled.
Yeah.
And we rode that sled 121 times that night in about 4. I mean, we were flying. Tremont, and what Tremont does is they have a curfew. So they shut us down at 10 o'clock because it's part of their Tremont days, and they shoot fireworks at 10:01. They turn the lights out. So if you're not done, you're done. It doesn't matter to them. So they turn all the arena lights out and the park lights out, and they shoot fireworks for about 20 minutes. So That's kind of I can remember that for as long as I've been around. You know, you go to Tremont. Now we start the show at 4 o'clock so we can be done by 10.
Yeah.
And everybody just kind of chills and watches the fireworks and stuff. But it's kind of a staple in the United schedule. Like I said, as long as I can remember that we've been doing that. So
Yeah. I remember being there at Ogden for Weekend on the Edge. And man, they pulled till 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. It was nuts.
Yeah. Well, once in a while, you know, you get a pretty gathering of trucks, and it's a good deal unless you're the one riding the sled or taking the sled.
Right.
I've chased it for 6 or 7 hours. That's a pretty long day. You know, you're there at 9, 10 in the morning getting the sled ready to go. Then you got to put it to bed. So sometimes those are pretty vigorous days. You know, I have a pretty good crew that follows me, mostly my friends and family, but Donovan Caps, he's a guy I've known since I was 9 years old. He'll be one of our techs this year, along with Caleb, Courtney's husband, and then my son's starting to get involved a little bit in it, working the track, and then
Cool. Good.
A pretty decent group of guys. So
Good deal.
Yeah, you know, you talked about the whole 2020 stint and everything else. Yeah, you guys were the only ones that were having pools. And, you know, you look at Burley, Idaho, and yeah, we had some issues on logistics on where we were staying. So we stayed 4 hours away on accident.
He's not allowed to do
Not allowed to do that anymore. We stayed in Elko.
I'll tell you what, to put on those shows that year, United could have purchased a pretty healthy amount of stock in Procter & Gamble hand sanitizer.
Oh, I bet.
They made us buy hand sanitizer and put it all the restrooms, all the entranceways to the gates. Like for those shows, I bet we spent a small fortune in hand sanitizer, which was nice.
They let you have the event, though. I mean, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Got a
so
poll.
when you filled out the clause for use of the facility, that was literally something you had to sign your name and agree to, along with the fire department and everybody else.
Wow.
Yeah, when at Burley that night, you know, you had 18 pro mods. You had every class had huge numbers. The place was packed out. I mean, we didn't pull out of Burley to head back to the hotel till 1:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
it was when the last class went and one of our trucks was in it.
Wait,
sure.
stop.
Yeah, it's good times. It's memories. You know, it's memories to all of us. So I don't keep track of them as well as you guys do. I just remember the staples from the events or whatever that I can point out. You know.
Yeah.
We went over the hill four times in 2020 full with you guys and stuff, because we just had nothing. We had nothing here, and the one that sticks in my mind besides Burley is Shoshone. It seemed like they rolled up the whole town, and the whole town was there.
Shoshone that way every year. Shoshone is a good event. Shoshone is Chris Tabor does as he did with does Burley, and we don't do those events anymore. They're still there. Payne Motorsports does them. And so that, you know, those events are still Shoshone especially. That's a good fun event. You know, and the last couple of years I haven't had my truck or whatnot, but they're good events to attend, and I plan on attending them when I get my truck finished up. So
yeah.
Now you touched on a little bit too, is buying the Bronco. So explain that a little bit. You know, how you got into it to originally start, Joe.
So originally I was just one of them kids with a Dodge, as I was kind of talking about in Tremont. And and I had bought my first Cummins, and I was loading some hay on a pickup, and anyway, long story short, smashed into the side of my truck, and so we built a flatbed in my grandpa's shop, and I had put a tuner on it and a couple of things, and I went to the Utah State Fair. The Utah State Fair had truck pulls for a long time till they changed their arena setup.
Kendall, no.
Made one pass, decided in that time I had been out farming and met Pete Schmidt, and he gave me Carl's number, and so Carl actually delivered that on a flatbed truck. He drug it down here in his square body Chevy with the 8B50 Detroit and a 10-speed. He brought
That thing was awesome, man. That was an awesome truck.
Was that the General Lee?
the green truck.
No, the green one was the one they hauled the Phoenix salt flat rig with that truck. It was just a square body Chevy. Had the right, Joe. It had the Allison in it and the Detroit. Yeah, that was just a standard cab too.
Was that the one that they turned into General Lee though?
No, that was Dick Lee's. That's
Okay.
the one that Rick Thomas.
Detroit with Allison in it too.
Yeah, that's the Dick Lee's one. The General Lee had the motor in the back for
Yeah.
a little while. Yeah, and they moved, but Rick Thomas still has that up in Klamath.
Oh, does he? Cool.
Yeah, he hauls the Outlaw with it.
Nice.
And so who owned? So the truck that Utah Diesel Center has now is the old two-cycle truck.
Right.
That was
RB
called the Phoenix when it had a AP53.
Yeah.
that was RB Slagle's.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Slagle's. So
Yeah.
so Joe bought that from Slagle after I bought the Revenuer, and so that truck's still in Utah in Lehigh. It has a two-stroke in it still.
Yeah, they just ran it last year somewhere. I think.
Yeah, they ran it in Morgan.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah.
year before it was in Elko.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I think they ran it in Tremont last year too.
Yeah,
Did
yeah.
some awesome work to it for sure. It looks really good, black. And then when RB sold it, he sold it to Rose Nielsen, who lived in Blue Lakes, and then she painted it purple and named it Plum Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's what Caleb told me too.
Yeah. She weighed like 98 pounds soaking wet. And that was the only way
Oh
they
my
could make
goodness.
that truck.
Yep.
Yep. I remember that. Yep. I knew that was the same truck. I wasn't sure the name, but I knew it as Plum Creek.
You guys know? You know what happened to the first Phoenix?
Didn't it?
The first Phoenix that RB built, he had it in his shop up there in Grants Pass, and he went to a football game for one of his grandsons. Lightning hit the shop and the building and burned it to the ground. It wasn't named the Phoenix then. The second truck was named the Phoenix out of the ashes.
Oh wow.
That's how, yeah, he had that truck ready to go. They were going to go to Portland. And like I said, they had lightning up there, bad,
Yeah.
spring storm come through, or, midsummer storm come through up there and struck the shop and burned it to the ground. So they salvaged as much as the truck as they could and then rebuilt it and renamed it the Phoenix.
Wow. How cool.
And that's the reason why Kenny put this comment.
That's right. Yeah. Well, I'm talking truck pulling encyclopedia. Yep, he is.
He is. Yeah, I agree, Jason. You are.
He is.
I don't remember what I ate yesterday, but I can remember lettering on the side of trucks. Don't know why. I don't know. Crazy.
Joe Frank wants to know what happened to the Bronco.
So I actually I parted it out. I wish I never did because I didn't know the hit. The only
That's not
original
true.
piece
I just want to say that's not true. Jason totally knows what he could
Cassie
eat
is
yesterday,
original.
and even like 20 years ago, what he ate.
I did at 60 in it, and so I had to go to the front end when I put the blower motor in the truck. I sold the body to a guy in Salt Lake here, and as far as the frame rails goes, they're just frame rails, so they're in the scrap pile somewhere. But so that's when we got sick of rebuilding Ford motors because we didn't really know a guy, I guess, like Chris does. I didn't know Admon Gilbert Martinez at that time. We were really new to motorsports, new to high performance engines, and
That's good. Thanks.
So we wanted to build another truck, and I wanted Detroit in it. And so my old boss says, "Well, I got this old truck. It's literally a farm truck. I had a flatbed on it when I got it, and then so as the story keeps revolving, Pete, the originator of Utah Diesel Center, that knew Bob and Carl." He helped me set up the Detroit. He got me the block and the bell housing and the, I took it down to his shop and we timed it and stuff. The biggest problem is you can't find injectors for them anymore. So really hard to make fuel, And so we actually put a hole in the side of that block. It actually ran away on the trailer. I was adjusting.
Oh no.
Yeah. I was adjusting the governor, and I was actually on the phone with Pete, and he was telling me how to adjust the governor, and it ran away on the trailer. And before we could get the plywood over the turbo, they sent the rod out the side. And so it was kind of hard to come by parts. So obviously it still is. So we decided we were going to go with a little bit more proven platform. And so we had actually, Ohio Crankshaft is the guys who built the 632 that I put in the truck after the Detroit died. So, but we built that chassis and the truck. Yeah, so that's
Awesome.
632. We built that from the ground up in 6 months.
Wow.
So
Yeah, truck.
sponsorship.
Joe, that looks like grenade box tunnel ram on there, huh?
It is. I still have that tunnel ram.
I remember that sitting on your floor. Those are good, man.
Yeah.
Right on.
Awesome for injection because the fuel is below them ports.
Yep.
And I actually took it off and put a profiler on there, and I would take a bet to say that the block mount of the, well, we call it the bread box, probably worked better on my engine than the profiler did, honestly.
That's cool.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny you talk about a runaway and stuff like that. I've actually had one in a 69 Jimmy stack retriever. I was driving one time. I was driving down the road and I was coming up to a stoplight and had one run away on me, and that is a eerie experience.
Oh man, yeah.
You can't do nothing. I mean, I pulled that emergency flapper and everything else. It would not kill it.
Yeah, well, they run away on the oil. They don't run away on the fuel.
Yeah.
Can't stop them. So
Yeah.
that was a kind of a learning experience. My grandpa had owned about 7 semis, and my dad was an 8V92 guy. So my dad drove for my grandpa, and he had some cab over Freightliners with 8Vs in them. Well, they knew how to turn them up, and they could run down the road with them. So my dad and my grandpa, they were 8V92 guys to begin with, and so they were familiar with a lot of the integral parts. My grandpa would in-frame them, like they knew that stuff. The reason we didn't keep going with it is because you can't find parts for them. Obviously, you can buy an engine, but new parts are pretty hard to come by. But that was kind of the thing. So then we built the new truck, and the first year, well, we built the new engine.
Mm-hmm.
First year, I got points, and then for the next 3 years, I was a points champion.
Right.
Pretty hard to get around that old truck.
Yeah, you were tough.
We pulled the engine out with 60 passes on it, and it looked brand new. But it needed some freshening up, and then I kind of got this wild hair. I wanted a lower motor, and I pieced out the 632 and bought that supercharged motor.
Right on.
Out of Ohio. Steve Barker is actually the original builder of that supercharged engine that I have. And so he put that together, and then I bought that out of Ohio and put it in this truck. And then I think I rebuilt it about 4 times. So anyway, then you guys probably seen that I started experimenting with the turbo stuff a little bit, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah, that looked cool.
yeah.
so we're going to do it a little bit more legitimate this time. There's a lot of technology that I have learned that goes into this. And so we're going to start. The block finally came. I ordered a block in December, and block's finally here. So we're getting some stuff put together to where it can actually be starting to put on some machines and get assembled. But
Cool. Awesome, man.
Nice. Can't wait to see you run, man.
Yeah, you guys there's several super modified still out there, correct? I know you got a couple of the Burchett brothers. They're out of Wyoming, right?
yeah, that's father and son.
Oh, it's father and son. Okay.
Corey, yeah.
The Berlettis have a couple blown 4x, and so we can get 4 or 5 of them here or there.
That's cool.
Yeah, if we can, we can make a class. That'd be great. That's kind of my push to get my truck out there, is not let it die off again by them guys, getting tired of pulling against each other all the time. Kind of mix it up a little bit, and then I was just reading Kim's comment. So
Yeah. Talked about your son getting involved.
So does he have a desire to pull? So that's quite a story. So let's just say him and his mom and I didn't get along really well. So for my birthday 2 years ago, I got to see my son for the first time in 8 years.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
So now he's 19 years old, and yeah, he has a desire to pull. He's been involved ever since that day. Basically.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
I've been around. Some people don't even know I have a couple of other kids besides my daughters with my wife now. But that being said, yeah, he does have a desire to pull. He comes around. He's helping me build the truck in the garage. He wants to be involved, and so we're just going to try and keep it going. But he's actually probably the real reason I'm actually putting this truck back together. I was actually kind of done with the pulling scene. My wife and I went and bought a trailer, a camp trailer, and a side-by-side, and we were just going to attend a few pulls here, and I wasn't going to re-up as president. Well, ironically, we took the trailer and the side-by-side and loaded it on. We were headed out to the Salt Flat races between pulls. So after Wyoming, after Evanston, we rushed home and reloaded the camp trailer. We were going to the Salt for a couple of days to watch the races. I try and get out there when I can.
Sure.
And we got on the on-ramp. We blew a tire and it knocked the whole wall, basically the whole back wall out of the trailer.
Oh, geez.
So totaled the trailer. And so that was like the omen, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are truck pullers.
Yeah. You can't.
So here's the kicker to that. We put a strap around it. It ripped out. So it had a slide out in this trailer, and it ripped the propane hose out to the fridge. It ripped the wiring out, whatever. So we go home, right? I ratchet strapped the back wall together. I fixed the propane hose. We wired up. We're like, okay, we're leaving in the morning. We're going back to the Salt. So this is now Saturday.
Nice.
We get on our way out by Knowles, halfway between the truck stops in Wendover, right where the Salt is. And it was raining so hard you couldn't see out the windshield.
No.
So the Salt now went from dry. We missed qualifying because we had the accident and whatnot. It was totaled. I put it back together. We were driving out to the Salt. It was raining so hard we couldn't see out the windshield, and now the Salt had 6 inches of water on it. It was canceled. So that's the two omens that we're. I guess maybe this recreation stuff just isn't for us. So
yeah,
I don't know if there's any other sign.
Yeah.
So,
You can recreate that.
Members of United wouldn't really, they voted to keep me in, and so I'm committed to it. I have been, and apparently I don't mind doing it. So.
Oh, that's good, Joe. Good to keep it going over there.
Way to go, Joe. No, that's good. Hey, there's Frank Wilkes' old truck. Right
Yeah.
on.
So Terry and Lisa Morton from Idaho Falls own that now.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We
Yeah.
saw them in Weezer, yeah, and Sublimity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that
Two-wheel
cool.
drive people are just, they're weird. I don't know. I'll tell you. Two-wheel drive
Yeah.
people.
Like, for first-hand experience, huh? There, knucklehead.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. No, that's a cool truck, man. Frank, he builds good stuff. I'm glad somebody's pulling it still. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep. It's a good running truck. Sure.
What do you got for transmission behind your truck, Joe?
So I have a Profab reverser, and then I sold my Profab transfer case to a gentleman in California. I can't remember. Chad, is it Chad?
Arzy?
I can't remember.
I can't remember who bought it.
Oh.
You remember
Come on,
who?
JB. You know JB.
And then
I had to call Joe on it. I'm trying to
yes, so I got a new transfer case, and we'll get the clutch set up. Like I said, I blew up the Dana 60 when I put the blower motor in it, so we put a FDS 75 in it with billet shafts and stuff from Profab. So kind of I'm a blue collar guy. I don't have a lot of money. My wife and I, it's an investment, honestly. And so I like to put together, what I have and use my knowledge, what little I have to, like I said, the first green chat, we built that in 6 months. Paint from
Right.
2 bare rails of 2x6 by quarter wall.
Yeah.
To that truck in 6 months. My brother worked at Semi Service. You see a sponsor on the side of it. They let us use their shop to fab. They donated the stainless for the bedsides. They donated some of the steel, and their paint and body guy actually painted that with industrial paint. That's why
Nice.
it's actually it's actually a color code off of I want to say like a 94 Pontiac Sunfire is what the color code is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so he mixed that up in some industrial base and sprayed that in a weekend, and that's kind of what it was. So I decided it needed a new chassis because it wasn't straight anymore. It was pretty much round, probably 3 or 4 inches on either end.
Oh, no.
We had bent the drawbar, so it was just fatigued. I read the drawbar, but we had bent that drawbar, and I just decided it was probably better for a little better material. The new chassis is actually Dom tubing, so
Nice.
Now I'm looking at it. I see. I think I see 8-lug rims there. What axles were you running underneath it then?
So that is a Ford Dana 60 in the front, but it's actually an SQHD in the rear end, but between Carl Heap and Slagle, so they built them rear ends. So they put pillow blocks on the end of them, and they welded a flange right to the axle shaft, and that's still how it is today. The rear end is built exactly the same way in the Utah diesel truck. They're identical.
Nice.
No, Carl Heap and RV, especially Carl, those, man, he came up with so much stuff. He was awesome guy, super smart, super knowledgeable. He built a lot of stuff.
Very
So
cool.
they're 8 on 6.5 wheels. The front is now 6 on 8.75, but they are 8 on 6.5 wheels. And but yeah, they come the rear end doesn't have hubs on them. They just have steel pillow blocks, and then it's held in there with the bolt. So
I'll be dang. Huh.
yeah, it's been that way since Carl put it under the Revenuer. And I don't even know when the Revenuer was born. Jason probably does, or Bill. Jason probably does. But yeah, that's the original stuff. So when I got the Revenuer, it had a chain drive transfer case in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe it.
We still have some gears and sprockets laying around, but those guys that built them chain drive transfer cases and had a 4-speed with Crowler 3-disc clutch. Obviously, they had upgraded the input shaft and stuff. Like I said, we were really green behind the ears, and we didn't know.
Yeah.
It was kind of a aspiration that we were going to go pulling, and we decided if we're going to go pulling, we're going to go pro mod pulling.
That's
And
cool, man.
I ran that in baby. I had a chain drive with a T18 4-speed in there. Yeah, for a while in the country mod. But
Carl and those guys built a bunch of them. I mean, Half Breed had one in the back. They had a 1-to-1 chain drive in the rear. When he did that for John Harris, you know, when John had the truck, and then Hank Meadows' truck, Raging Bull had one of Carl's. I mean, there was a bunch of the Oregon guys.
yeah,
I don't know many from you know, if any to California, but Carl built all kinds of stuff like that.
those were no fun to change a gear in. None.
yeah, I dropped it off. He said, "You better know your tracks." And
Yeah.
your gears. It takes you about an hour and a half to change the
Yeah.
gear.
Mhm.
I bet he laid 14 gears at our feet and said, "Good luck." You know?
Good luck. Yeah.
He,
Hey, good luck.
Spare chain, yeah.
Yeah, Chris had plenty of experience with the chain drive transfer cases. He started his whenever they first invented the chain.
Oh, whatever. Right after dirt was invented, right, John?
He first started off with pulling horses. Oxen.
So
No,
when-
in Nevada, man, that's mine cars. You know, he was out there doing that gold mining out there, out in the weeds. You know,
oh, geez.
oh gee,
Here we go.
Well,
Yeah.
last time we talked about how you built the road for the Donner Party. So
I got stuck there once. Good thing I had a cooler full of beer. That was the only thing that saved me.
You were all out when I got to you. Jeez.
Mhm. No,
So-
one thing I remember Carl for sure. He was one like Manchester and them, and Chris too. Several guys had the short wheelbase trucks, and man, they made them things work.
Yeah.
You know, they made them competitive. You know, and built a lot of their own stuff, which was
Well,
awesome.
I don't know. Those guys were so short. I mean, they put it reverse and the back end would be off the ground, and they'd just be dangling on the front tires all the way back to the sled. It was nuts.
I remember some guys sitting on the back of the truck when they had to get back to the sled
Yeah.
because the wheels were coming off the ground. It was going sideways, but
Yeah, and
Yeah, that's
Manchester,
cool.
he ran a small block and his buzzed that thing to 12 grand and dumped the clutch.
Yeah. So
Mod.
had I known, this is how green I was as far as engines, right? So I call Carl Heap to talk to him about the Bronco, and he says, "Well, I'll tell you what, I'll sell it to you for X amount of money with the engine, and I'll sell it to you with X amount of money without the engine." So he had a shotgun Ford Hemi, right?
Uh-huh.
I had no idea what that was.
Oh,
I would have bought the engine.
yeah.
yeah,
No
Yeah.
idea
Yeah.
that was. He said it's got a shotgun, shotgun Ford engine in it.
Right.
I had no idea what
Yeah.
it was. I would have bought the engine. It would be sitting on a stand.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, Hey, but that's
worth
how
more than you.
my family and I were when we got into this thing.
Right.
You know, none of them had really been into motorsports. Like I said, the diesel thing, the two-stroke thing was kind of a thing my grandpa had in his trucks.
Yeah.
Knew that enough to get them running.
Yeah.
You know, pretty good going down the highway, whatnot. Obviously, it's a whole nother game in the racing world, but
Sure.
that's how green I was when I started, getting into the pulling and getting into the injection and learning. And
Right.
Skyler and Burke had to teach me quite a bit.
Sure.
Burke sort of took me under his wing and taught me a bunch about the injection. I'll tell you another thing we did is so we had this Ford motor built here in Utah. We learned about crank trigger ignition as the new next best thing, right? Well, put the freaking trigger wheel on the engine backwards.
Oh, no.
And we were in Pocatello trying to get that engine to run, and it was coughing, banging. It was so pissed off, and we could never get it to run.
Like it didn't break a crank.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's literally how green we were in motorsports. We had no idea. Like basically what we were doing was spending money and hoping that it worked, right? Like literally throwing money at this.
We didn't either. I mean, we
Yeah.
had to learn, from our mistakes, and
Yeah. So
Ron's still learning. So You know.
So, after we built the 632 engine, well, Ohio built it and shipped it to us on a pallet.
Yeah.
You know, I had quite a bit of better idea of what I needed to do, what to look for. I took it upon myself to learn about some mechanical injection and reading spark plugs and things like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the progression, right? So we were complete. My wife probably knew more about engines at that point in my life than I did. And because she was street racing in a 5.0 Mustang on stage.
Nice. I like it.
So she's the gearhead, honestly. She probably knew more about that stuff than I did. So like I said, I was just a young kid with a turned up Cummins that thought he was cool, and I got my ass handed to me by like 100 feet. So
Yeah.
Hey, you did it though. That's where we start, right? You
We
got to
still do
start
that
somewhere.
today, man. We still get our butt handed to us.
yeah, it's part of the game. You know, you take the wins and losses, and
Yep. No doubt. So Joe, if you ever had an opportunity to drive another pulling vehicle, where would it be? And whose would it be?
I think if I got the opportunity to drive anybody's truck, it'd be the Holman Brothers 4Play.
Yeah, right on.
I love that truck. That's kind of like the truck that caught my eye. I love that body style.
Yeah.
I only made it for a year or two.
Right.
I think that's where I think I would probably in Toma. That's probably where I'd want to do it.
Toma, Wisconsin, man. Dairyland Nationals. Be awesome, man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
think-
cool. Then they used to have two. They used to have the salt shaker. They would call it the salt shaker, and
Yep.
And the other, what was the other one?
They had salt and pepper and the salt shaker, and they ran one was a super modified and one was a modified.
Yeah. And then that one they turned into 4Play.
Oh,
They
okay.
ran, those guys had the homemade chassis in that truck for a long time before they went to newer stuff. And that thing won, I don't know. They probably got 2 garages full.
It still has the old frame rails.
It still
It
has
does?
no-
Okay, right on.
Yep, sure does.
They probably got 2 garages full of trophies, I bet. Full.
Oh my gosh. Well, they won more national championships in 4x4 than anybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bowling Green, Toma,
Yeah.
even Indy Super Pole, they won some of those too, I think.
Yeah. But one of their old motors ended up in California and is going in Rough Rider, which is
Oh, nice.
the same body style
That's cool.
as 4Play. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
Is that is a gray, a granite color Chevy?
No,
Orange,
orange, and
orange and blue and yellow and red stripes on it.
called Rough Rider.
Okay,
Yeah, Jess Alcorn was the original owner builder of that truck.
Yeah. And now it's oh gosh, what's his name? Come on, John.
Josh Graves has it.
Josh
Yeah,
Gray.
Josh. Yeah, I met him at
Yeah.
Castillo Pole. Nice guy. Good, cool dude.
Yeah.
Really cool
Kimmy
dude.
got a question for Joe.
Oh, Joe, has Tiffany ever pulled, and does she ever want to?
she hasn't ever pulled, and I've offered her multiple times, and she won't do it.
Huh.
She just says that's kind of your baby, that's your thing, and you know, I would glad. She probably theoretically would be a better driver. She
Join the club. Yeah, I've heard that.
Kimmy.
pretty savvy when it comes to that kind of stuff. So her current car is a Cadillac CT6, an all-wheel drive twin turbo car.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
And she still tries to race the streets. It's in her blood. You
Yeah.
know? But no, I've offered multiple times, and she says, I just don't care to do that. That's your deal. So,
Well, I think if it was Ford powered, she probably would, though.
you know,
No, it'd still be at the impound yard. You know, thing of break down downtown, have to tow it away.
Oh, damn. Let's do you.
Well, we already said that, you know, when Kimmy drove Baby Huey a few times, that
Yeah.
Chris did a better job sitting on the sidelines eating pickles.
yeah,
Oh,
I
I can hear Kimmy laughing in the background.
that's a good one. That's a good one. Them
I'll have
guys.
to meet your wife sometime, Joe. The only time I ever got arrested was street racing down in Alameda. So
Yeah.
yeah, there was a lot of
Yeah,
that going on back
she-
then, man. There
She
was a
caused
lot
some
of fast
trouble.
cars. Yeah.
That's what you tell us, anyways.
Now, Courtney, have you ever kicked Caleb out of the seat?
No, not in. I've pulled. I used to have an old mega cab that I used to pull all the time by myself and do
Nice.
that. But I would never, ever, ever get in the seat of his pull truck ever. I would be too scared that I would break it, and
Oh.
then I would.
That's why we
That
build
would
them.
be the end of it.
Thank you, Tom.
That and I don't. I don't know. I don't know clutches very well. I kind of suck at that, so I'm sure it wouldn't go anywhere anyway. He said you can drive it whenever you want, and I just the anxiety that it gives me. I don't know how you guys don't struggle with that because I would be out there just shaking.
Yeah,
That's fun, you know. That
Frank pointed out what Joe was thinking is Grey Ghost, and Grey Ghost is still around.
oh yeah, Greg Go's still around. Yeah.
It's still around.
That's probably the truck I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that truck was originally out of Eureka.
Was it Eureka or Crescent City?
Eureka. Yeah.
You're gonna challenge the Rain Man.
No, you can challenge. Go ahead.
I'm challenging them all I want, boy.
I like it. Yep. It's a
Yeah.
good battle. Yep.
It used to run it was a 468 with 2 4-wheel carbs in the pro mod class on gas. Yep. And a lady drove it. I remember a lady driving it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they were out of Eureka. They pulled that thing all. Well, Chris, you probably remember seeing them a bunch because they followed Al around everywhere
Yeah,
with all the poles.
quite a bit.
Yep.
Quite a bit. Good people. But yeah, that truck's been around. They it sold as a country mod for a long time, and now I think Joe's got it back as a pro mod, Dad, doesn't he? Or is
That's
it?
what I heard.
Yeah, I think it's coming back as a pro mod. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that truck's been around a long time.
They had a chain
That's
box
actually the second one. They built 2 of them. The first one was, if I remember right, I think it was a 396, and then Keith built the second truck. And there was actually 2 Grey Ghosts, but the one now is the second one.
is it? Huh. Still kept the name though.
Keith Jones.
Whoever buys it always keeps the name.
That's cool. That's
Yeah.
one thing I remember when I started drag racing. One of my buddies told me he raced boats. He said, "Man, if you buy something with a name, don't change it." I said, "I'm not. I'm going to buy half breed. I'm going to find it."
Taboo. Don't
Yeah.
do
He said, "Don't do it, man." He said, "It'll be weird."
that. Yeah.
So, I didn't want to try it. So
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. What about you, Courtney? If you got an opportunity to drive somebody's rig, what would it be and where?
I have like a weird obsession with Ram Tough. I think it's such a badass truck. And
Nice.
Caleb's always like, my truck's like that. And I'm like, I know, but I like this truck too. And I love the National Farm Machine Show, so I would say probably there. I want
Kentucky.
Caleb and I want to make it out there one year, and we just never have.
we haven't
So
either.
that's probably where I would go.
Yeah. That'd be cool. It'd be cool if some of us from the West Coast even got invited to be in the show there. That'd be awesome.
That'd be really.
That'd be awesome. Heck
Yeah.
yeah.
There's your. Where did that one end up, Jason?
Gold Fever.
Gold Fever, Dave, the 56 Chevy truck back on the street that I know of.
Well, I've seen pictures of a Bronco. Maybe is he referring to the Bronco?
Gold Rush or Gold? See, he said Gold Fever, but Gold Rush was Manchester's.
Yeah, that was Manchester. He's the one that ran with the small block in it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The front end of that got cut up when they built Tough Enough. So the front half of that truck got, I don't know. I can't remember the last time I talked to Tim, but I think they said that truck ended up getting scrapped or something. I don't know what they saved off it, but I know the front end went on Tough Enough, which I believe Troy has it in Oregon.
I had the hubs off of it.
Right on.
There you go.
those slot mags on there still, a lot of guys still look for those because those were a pretty rare deal. They were a 15 by 14 slot mag.
Mhm.
Oh, the 56 Chevy,
No, that was Bill Drury, wasn't it?
Fool's Gold.
Yeah, Fool's Gold, Bill Drury. He was
Yeah.
out of Cottonwood, California.
Yeah, Cottonwood.
He was announcer for Al Thomas for years. That guy was awesome.
He pulled Redliner too,
Yeah.
right? When Dave Knowles and them had Redliner pulls.
Yeah, I think he put that truck back on the street.
That's what I heard. Yeah, I don't know about, yeah.
Blower on it.
That was a cool truck.
Yeah, it was.
454, I think. That's why it lasted a long time. Chris had a 454,
Oh, bro.
long time.
He ate a
Tried a
lot.
460 and didn't make it.
I know his air cleaner was dirty when he got done because it
Oh.
was
It's because the ports are so big on those rectangles, man. It just sucks everything in. Birds, garbage from the stands. It gets it all in.
eagles from the sky. Huh?
Yeah, there you go, Frank.
Yeah,
Fool's
cool.
Gold, man. Yeah, that was a cool truck.
Bill Drury. Yep.
Well,
Man.
Chris, you guys back then, that country mod class was big. There was a lot of trucks all over.
Yeah.
When you got going in, man. I just remember a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
Money Pit, and there was a lot of them. So those guys are out of Susanville, and then Wicked Mean and Nasty's getting rebuilt, so that's good.
Yeah. Little
It's up in Susanville back.
Studebaker truck.
Yeah.
Named it
Yeah,
after his wife.
Well, then I don't know, maybe I shouldn't say it, but I'll just be quiet.
He named it after his wife, Evil, Wicked, Mean, and Nasty.
Yeah, he added the evil later. I think after the divorce, he added the
He
evil.
got
Right?
divorced and she got the truck.
Okay, shh, we're good.
Well, we'll go back to that in a second. But Joe and Courtney, go over this. Here's the list again for 2024 for United. Joe, go ahead and talk about just real quick on your shows for this year.
Okay, so we'll start the season in Elko, Nevada. It's kind of a staple. I try and change the first show of the year every year, but it's always Elko. So Morgan, like I said, we do a fundraiser with the Lions Club, and they put on a car show. It's kind of an all-day event. It's a staple. That
Awesome.
event long time. Rigby, we tried Idaho Falls and Rexburg last year. They weren't very good to us. So we learned through Facebook that there was a car show the same weekend as our Idaho Falls poll, and everybody that should have been our poll was at the Rigby Idaho car show. So we decided we would go promoters, and our poll this year is in conjunction with the Rigby Idaho car show this year.
Nice.
So
All right, that's gonna work.
shows in Idaho, and then we're going to put on our show at 6 o'clock up there. Tree Mountain is it's during the Tree Mountain Days again. We reserve that every year. One of our biggest shows, one of our best shows. Evanston, we do that with the fair. They invite us to come in on a Thursday night. We put on a show there. They do some pedal tractor pulls and things like that. Then this year, the Fair Board in Afton got a hold of us and said we'd like to put on something. So we got in a Fair Board show up there. So then Duchesne, and like I said, Skylar said, "Hey man, these guys are hurting for stuff to do out there. They support the Monster Truck Show. Why don't you guys try it?" So we kind of worked out a deal. And then, like I said, Morgan, September 21st, we'll finish our season out and end our points. So kind of closer to home to finish it out.
Nice. It's got a good schedule for you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's like a good season, man. Very cool.
Just enough to keep us busy all summer, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keeps the wallet light too. You don't need a bunch of money in your wallet. You just gotta keep it out there, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Keep the economy rolling. Just give it back to them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Courtney, Joe, I got to get rolling, you guys. John, Chris, I'll talk to you guys later. But Joe, Courtney, awesome talking to you. Hope to meet you one of these days in person. Finally retired from work, so I got more time now and got some medical issues fixed up my knee, so I'm good to go. But great talking to you guys. Chris, Jay, I'll talk to you guys later, JB. But have a good night. Everybody have a good week.
You
Thanks,
too.
guys.
Thank you.
See you later.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for coming on. And definitely, a great show. I know we've been wanting to get. I talked to Joe before about getting you guys on here and stuff, and wanting to get you guys
We'll share
on
all
here promoted and share everybody out here on the West Coast, all the different promoters and stuff.
I appreciate it. I thank you guys for having us on and helping us get the word out a little bit and let people know that we're still kicking and screaming and trying to make something of this deal.
exactly.
Yeah, that's how we're gonna keep this thing growing. you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, we all work together and keep it going for everybody, especially the kids.
Yeah.
We've got
keep it
a
inspiration.
we've got a little girl that's growing up into it, so she's gonna be quite a motorhead, just like her dad is. So.
Your daddy's gonna be building another truck.
Yeah, pretty
Sorry,
much.
There go Ford powered, Caleb. Next time, man.
Oh,
I don't know if he will. I don't
I
know if he
doubt it.
will.
I know. But it'd be cool.
It would be.
We need a Ford diesel on the West Coast.
Yeah. He's got a Ford that's got a Cummins in it that he's pulled a couple times, but
see, you gotta put a Dodge motor in it.
Oh man, 600. Oh,
the last time he pulled it was actually in Burley and he ended up breaking it. So
Oh, no.
he hasn't done anything with it since then.
Hey, Caleb, Craig's got a perfect thing for you there. Build her a micro mini.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
For sublimity.
Get them started early.
Sublimity kicks our butts every year, though. I don't know if I can handle another trip back out there again.
It's long for everybody.
It is. It
Yeah.
is. Well, and we've got it. He got his engine out and got it all torn apart, and it's at the machine shop getting it fixed. So
Good.
hopefully we'll finally be able to get it pulling this year and not have to go all the way out to Sublimity to go, I think we're just not going to pull this time. So
That sucks.
So, well,
it
yeah,
says we
you guys,
need to
thank
build
you.
bundle a
Thank
Ford
you.
full truck.
Thank you guys for coming on. Hold on a second. We're gonna play it out and we'll end the show and stand by.
Stand
Ford pull truck with a
Yes,
Chevy
I-
engine.
Did you hear that, Chris?
by. I've
Ford
seen it the other way around. Average got a Chevy truck with a Ford motor, so